Never, ever, ever restart your life from zero. This isn't a video game. You don't get to hit reset and magically respawn back at the start every time you mess up. Life is more like a train on a long track. You leave the station, you build momentum, and somewhere along the line you realize you've drifted off course. You can't teleport back to the station. You can't click your fingers and go back to who you were before. You don't go back to the origin. You correct the course and keep moving. So I want you to visualize your life as a journey from origin to destination. Everything you do moves you along that line. In a perfect world, you travel in a straight path, as the crow flies, clean and efficient. But that's not how life works, and you know it. Real life is hills and tunnels, left turns, wrong turns, detours, delays. Sometimes you drift, sometimes you take the long way around, but you're still moving forward. You might be moving slower because you broke your consistency, messed up in business, slipped in your routines, or made bad decisions. Fine, own that. But there is almost never a good reason to slam the brakes and declare, I'm back at day one. Think about the gym for a second. If you could lift 60 kilograms, trained hard for 6 months, and got up to 100 kilograms, then had a rough couple of weeks and dropped to 90 or 95, would you walk into the gym and say, well, I failed, time to go back to 60 and start my journey all over again? Of course not. That would be insane. You don't throw away months of strength because you had a bad fortnight. You keep training from where you are and climb back up. But this is exactly what most men do with their habits, their careers, their discipline. They miss a few days, a few weeks. They lose their rhythm, and suddenly they announce, I'm starting from zero again. It feels noble. In reality, it is quiet quitting dressed up as discipline. I've seen it many times. Men say, I fell off for a couple of weeks, so I'm back at day one. I don't deserve to continue from where I left off. Listen carefully. That's not honor. That's your mind looking for an excuse to avoid the hard part, which is continuing after you've broken your streak. Instead of asking, how do I restart? Ask, where am I actually on this journey from origin to destination? How far off track am I? And what's the quickest way to correct my route and keep going forward? If you're on a 1,000-mile journey and you've already traveled 500 miles, then realize the last 100 were in the wrong direction. Does it make any sense to drive all the way back to the start? Do you turn around, go 500 miles backwards, and then try again perfectly? Or do you correct your course, accept that the journey will now be 1,200 miles instead of 1,000, and finish it anyway? You know the answer. In life, in the gym, in your work, in your relationships, the only thing that makes sense is course correction, not collapse. You move forward, even if it's slower, even if it's messier than you planned. In life, you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. And one of the easiest ways to move backwards is to keep hitting your own reset button. Every time you go back to day one, you are throwing away distance you've already traveled. Are there rare times you genuinely have to rebuild from the ground up? Yes. Injuries, disasters, things forced on you that you didn't choose. If you're genuinely knocked back to zero by life, then you rebuild slowly, and there's no shame in that. But most of the time, that's not what's happening. Most of the time, it's you choosing to pretend you're back at zero because it feels cleaner than admitting you stumbled at mile 500. It's a way of protecting your ego from the pain of imperfection. A king doesn't play that game. He doesn't dramatize a stumble into a full collapse. He looks at where he is, owns the damage, corrects the direction, and keeps moving. You don't need another dramatic day one. You need an honest day, whatever I'm on, but still moving. That's how you actually make it to your destination. Never restart your life from zero just because it got hard. Correct the course, tighten your grip, and move forward with what you've already built. Remember, King, silence is strength, discipline is destiny. If this lesson hit you, subscribe for your next one and keep building in the dark.